All right, good. All right, so here we are. Welcome. And
Hello.
hello. My name is Ozan. I'm part of the Tribe team. Welcome to Tribe. Do you want to start streaming, or now's a good time if you want to kick it off?
It's on. It's
It's on.
starting already.
Okay.
So
All right, we're doing it. Cool.
let's
Welcome.
rock.
So
Yeah.
yeah, tell me your background and what brought you to Tribe. I can give you a quick introduction to Tribe, but it'd be great to know who you are first.
Yeah, I was interested in DJing years ago, and the equipment was very expensive. I didn't get one. So
Mm-hmm.
one day I saw the vinyl reality on Steam,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and this was with vinyl, as with vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I tried this, but this was very hard for me.
Mm.
And I wanted always to play on digital things. so,
Mhm,
so I'm
mhm.
happy I found this software. So this software is great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's our goal. Our goal. We wrote the app for folks like you that are aspiring DJs that want to get into DJing and start DJing and start performing and start playing out in the clubs and at house parties and maybe live streaming onto YouTube and Twitch. That's kind of why we built the app. So it's good to hear your background on that. Vinyl Reality is a great app. It was one of
Yeah.
our inspirations,
Yeah.
and they have it has wonderful execution, wonderful visuals, wonderful vinyl flow. This is more focused on the digital flow with the CDJs, and the decks that you have in front of you are a simulation of real world. Gear. You can think of this as a flight simulator for DJing. All the controls, all the sliders, all the knobs, they all match the physical kit out there in the world. So any skill that you learn here, you can take with you and use in the real world. And
Yeah.
also vice versa, if you have skills that you already know how to use in the real world, the minute you drop into VR, you can apply those skills on the virtual kit and take advantage of some of the power of VR.
Yeah, same as
Um,
Flight Simulator. I learned Flight Simulator and transferred in the real world, and I can
did you
fly.
really?
Yeah,
Oh my God,
I've
you
flown in
can you
virtual reality, and then I've flown in real life, and it was almost the same. Yeah.
that is the ultimate test.
Yeah.
Incredible. That's an incredible story because the stakes are so high when you're flying. I mean, your life is on the line. So
Yeah, yeah. On DJ, my life is not on the line, but yeah.
not in the same way. Your spiritual life may be on the line, but not your physical life. Um, but yeah, so what you have in front of you are the CDJs and the
Yeah.
next and the mixer. These two units right here, you're going to have some familiarity with this because you're already somewhat familiar with DJing and with vinyl reality, and so some of this will be similar. But these are your CDJs. This is what you use to play your music, and this is your mixer. This is what you use to mix your music. And essentially, at its core, you're going to play tracks on this deck, play tracks on this deck, and use this to mix between the two. Right now, you have a two deck setup. You can have a four deck setup, but right now you have a two deck setup. The mixer supports a four deck setup. That's why you have four. It's a four channel mixer: one, two,
Yes.
three, and four. Right now, the first channel is assigned to deck one, and the fourth channel is assigned to deck two. So all these controls control this one, and all these controls control this one. These are your EQs. These are what help you change the frequency of the song, the highs, the mids, and the lows. Then you can, I think you're familiar with this, but you can just use that blue sphere that's in your hand
Yes.
to touch. Yep. And then just twist like
Twist.
this.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
working. Yes.
Yep. Cool. And the idea is to emulate the way it is on physical kit when with your fingers, your index finger and your thumb, you do kind of this sort of twist action
Yeah, it's very
to turn the
natural.
knob.
It's very natural. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the realism.
There's even a
Yeah.
there's even a little snap right in the middle, so you'll know the 12 o'clock position. And then you have your color effects here that you can use as we go forward. These are the color effects knobs, and these are the color effects buttons, and these are the color effects knobs. You have your volume fader here that you can use to increase and decrease the volume. And then you have the iconic crossfader there that you can use to switch between the left deck and the right deck. And with that, those are the basics, right? We can start doing mixes just knowing that much, and we can start doing transitions just knowing that much, and then on top of that, we can layer in some more advanced techniques. So if it's cool with you, I can jump behind the deck with you, and we can do an intro mix and kind of talk through some of the mixing techniques and the mixing
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
That
okay.
would be
So
great.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna so I'm gonna jump back there. Give me 1 second.
Yes. Oh,
Here I am. Hello.
teleport. Hello.
Teleports. By the way, you're
You're
aware
bigger
of.
than me. You're bigger.
Oh, okay. Get down
No, no
here.
problem. No problem.
Yeah, no, it's nice to kind of stretch. The thing I was going to say is you're aware of the spectator camera on the app, right? So if you click the space bar now, you'll activate the spectator camera if you want
The
to use that.
space bar. I searched for the key, but I didn't find. Let me check. Space bar. Oh, great! It's working. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better
So
for
you
the
have,
audience, so it's not so shaky.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
better for the audience, so it's not so shaky. You can also change the camera angles using the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 buttons. So you can
Great.
give that a
Yeah.
try just to see. And then the number 5 button is your selfie cam. If you press that, you'll be able to use the selfie cam.
Okay.
So the thing I was going to say, excuse me, is that okay? So here we are. Let's do a mix. Actually, I'm going to get a chair. 1 second. Let me get this. Let me get this little. I have this little bouncing ball chair. That's fun to use. All right. So now we can dive into the business of mixing. You know, the thing that would be good to start with is talking a little bit about music theory,
Yeah.
because really it's so important to being able to really do a meaningful mix. You know, once you understand a little bit of music theory, then you'll understand how to mix your tracks, and you'll understand how to drive the energy of the tracks. And the idea is that people are going to be listening. I'm going to be listening. The dance floor is going to be listening. The people on the stream will be listening. When they hear the transitions, you want them to have an experience. You want their emotions to elevate, to expand, something really positive to happen. And how you do your transitions are going to drive that feeling. So if you do an energetic mix that's, one energetic drop and then another energetic drop and then another energetic drop, it's going to be this wonderful frenzy of people going, oh my God, how much hype. You might do a surprise mix where things are going steady, and then you introduce this element of the incoming track, and people get curious about it, and then all of a sudden it switches to that track, and they go, "Oh my God, it fulfilled the promise! I heard the little jingle from the
Yeah.
incoming track, and now it's here." So these little like sensations that you create in your audience, it's part of the storytelling of DJing, and so that's what we want to do. To do that, we need to understand a little bit about music theory, and it's very basic, but it's going to help. And let me ask, do you have any background in music prior to DJing? Guitar, piano, anything
Yeah,
along those lines?
little bit. But I know the theory about downbeats, bars, and phrases.
Oh, good.
I learned it
Okay.
yesterday from the videos.
Oh, good. Okay,
And yeah.
perfect. So that's the gist of it, is the beats, the bars, and the phrases. Okay, so why don't we like focus on that when we do our mix? Let's start with if you could load up a track on deck 1 and
Yeah,
deck
I have a
2.
questions about the tracks. How they are
Yeah.
syncing when I use my own tracks and someone is joining. They hear my
Yeah.
tracks too.
Well, so yes, you can do that, but it takes a little bit of preparation.
Okay.
In order for multiplayers to be able to hear each other's tracks, they have to have copies of those tracks on their computer.
Okay.
So if you have tracks A, B, and C, I would also have to have tracks A, B, and C in order to be able to hear you, and vice versa, you'd be able to hear me.
So in the same
So,
folder as me. So
well, it doesn't have to be in the same folder. It just has to be in the music folder.
okay.
The system can detect it, but it just looks in the music folder for any song that has the same track name. So the name has to be exactly the
Okay.
same. The we're working on a fix for that though, so that in the coming weeks and months that you won't have to worry about preparing. It'll happen automatically for you. It's going to automatically kind of synchronize the tracks.
Great. Great.
Yeah, but for now we can use the sample tracks because I know we both have those.
Yes.
So if you open up the track window and use the joystick to scroll down, you find a track that says Biggie Says and load it up on the
Biggie
left deck.
says yes. Deck 1. It's loaded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. And then find another track that says Let's Play House and load it up on the right deck.
Let's play house. Deck 2. It's loaded.
Cool. So a bit about this. It sounds like you may know some of this already, but I'll go over it again. You can see the information about the track inside the display. You can see the track name. You can see the key, which is B minor. You can see the beginning of the scrolling waveform, and then you can see the larger waveform here. And you can see some additional metadata, the time code and the beats per minute. Based on the waveform, if you look at that, you can see a preview of the structure of the song. You can see that it's light here. Here's the intro. You can see a buildup that happens here. Then you can see it getting heavy here. That's the drop. That's where the energy really kicks in. And then you can see the breakdown here where the energy drops out. And then you see a buildup and a drop and then a breakdown and then a conclusion. And that gives you already, without even listening to the track, a preview of how the energetic flow of the track is going to go. And the reason why that's important is we're going to use that when we do our mix between the two tracks. We want the energy, not only the beats to be on beat for beat matching, we want the bars to be on bar for good bar matching. We also want the phrasing to be on phrase, so you have that good energetic transition. Okay, cool. So why don't we just, we'll go through some of the basics you already know, but go ahead and click play, and let's just call out those beats. You can see the beat markers here. One quick note about this, just so you know. This white line here is the current time. That tells you where the current time is on the track, right in the middle. And this is the beginning of the track right here. These white lines here, those are the system telling you the downbeats. The system says, I have analyzed this track, and I detect that this is where the downbeat is. And it's 90%. 90% of the time, the system will be correct. There are times when it's incorrect, and it'll think the downbeat is somewhere, in the middle. But on these tracks, it knows it's correct. So you see these little white lines over the wide areas of the waveform.
Yeah.
That's the system auto-detecting the downbeat.
Oh,
Then you also, yeah. Any questions?
I think on complicated songs it wouldn't be so accurate. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. On like drum and bass type songs.
Yeah.
It gets kind of muddy. The workaround for that is we have an integration with Rekordbox that you can use to analyze your tracks and fix the beat grids and then import that into here.
Oh, great.
Of course, and of course beyond that you can you could manually beat match. But the good thing about the system auto detecting the beats is that with that we get the power of quantize and we get the power of beat sync, which we can talk more about in a second. The last thing about this is that red marker above the white line. That tells you the number one beat. That's your number one beat in a 4-beat bar. Cool?
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. So let's have a listen. Just go ahead and push play, and then let's just, if you would do me the service of just calling out those downbeats, going boom, boom, boom on the downbeat, just so we can really hammer that home. Go ahead and push play.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3,
You got
4.
it. Cool. All right. Go ahead and click the Q button.
Yeah, I have a question about this Q button. What is this doing? I don't know what it is used for.
This is the most mercurial button. It's sort of magical and mysterious. It does different things in different situations, and I think that's why it's pretty confusing. Just know that it was custom designed for the DJ flow. And after a while, it's gonna do exactly what you want it to do once you get kind of familiar with it. Basically, you can think of this as a bookmark. At its core, I believe it's a bookmark. It's a way of going to a location in the song, a way of playing from a location in the song, and a way of setting a new location in the song. It's like a bookmark. And you can see the current bookmark here is this little orange, yellow triangle, this little carrot shape.
Okay.
You see that?
Yes.
That tells you where that tells you where the current cue point is, and the cue point again is like a bookmark. So notice that if you click the cue button, just click it once and see what happens.
Yeah, I have to hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then release. Notice what happens. It plays
and then jumps back. Yeah.
Yep. And the idea there is, as a DJ, frequently you want to preview a song, and you want to preview it, privately on your headphones in real life. And to do that, you can click the cue button without losing your position. So you click and hold, you let it play, you preview a song, you say, ooh, I like this beat, it's the right speed. Ooh, I like the color of the song, the flavor of the song, it sounds good. Yes, I'm going to mix it with this other song. Good. Now I want to snap back to that cue point. And then you release it and it snaps back.
Okay, it's when I need this section for later.
Yeah, it's for previewing, so for later. So like you're going to preview it. So for example, let's stick with that for now. The other behavior of the cue point, to understand fully all its behaviors, now try clicking play, let it play for a bit. And now click the cue point and notice the cue button and notice what happens.
It jumps back.
It jumps back and it pauses.
It pauses, yeah.
Yep. So the idea is that you may start to start doing a mix. You click play, you're previewing it in the headphones, you're bringing in the volume, something like that, and you decide, uh-oh, it's not working. It's either out of beat, or this is the wrong song, or this is the wrong time. I want to snap back to that cue point. You click the cue button, it pauses it, and it snaps it back to that position. So you can try again.
Great, great. Okay. And
Cool.
how can I do another bookmark? So on another section?
Yeah, exactly. So the other state to be aware of is the pause state. Everything we've been doing so far has been when you click play and click cue, it
Yeah.
snaps back. But what happens if it's paused and you click the cue button? What happens then? So the way to test it is right now we're at that cue point, so now it's not a good time to test it. But if you were to use this trackpad to move the playhead somewhere else, and now click the cue button. Yep.
Okay.
And then now click the cue button. Notice what happens.
Oh, the orange things jumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you've reset the cue point. So now try those same things we did before. Click and hold the cue button. And then release. Snaps back like it did before.
Great, great.
Yeah. Click play and just to follow through with this. And then click the cue button.
And it jumps back.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great tool. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be useful for us actually. We're going to want to use that. Okay, one other sort of music theory question before we get into actually doing the transition is counting bars. I see you know how to count beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've counted beats within the bar, but how do you count bars? And I suspect you already know this, but just to say it,
yeah, but it's harder. Harder
Is
than
it?
beats.
Yeah?
It's harder. I bring the numbers all together, and it's
Yeah. Well, the common technique that makes it a bit easier is doing that 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And as over time, it'll become muscle memory. You won't
Yeah.
even think about it anymore. It'll just be automatic. But it's a good way to start. So
over time.
why don't
I think over time you don't count, so then you feel it. Yeah.
you feel it? Yeah, and that's really wonderful because it enters some different part of your brain, and you're just
Yeah.
feeling it. It's really cool. So why don't we practice that? Let's move the cue point to somewhere like around here. You can do it that way. You can do it that way.
Yeah, it's faster this way.
Yeah.
So here.
Yeah, just for good measure. Why
I don't know what the first beat is.
Well, the red marker. Just find it. You need the next red marker. So move the jog wheel.
Oh, the red mark is the first beat.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. Now click the cue button and notice what happens.
Yeah, we bookmarked it. Yeah.
We bookmarked it. Yeah. And yes. So now what you can do. One thing that we might want to do is, for example, count the beats to this drop. How many bars, count the bars to this drop. How many bars does it take to get to this drop?
Okay.
And we can use that information to do our mix. So go ahead and click and play. Just click play and start counting. The minute you click play, start counting.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Go for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4.
6.
Yeah, 6.
7.
8.
8.
Yeah, it's 8. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Click the cue button.
Yeah.
Yep. So what did you count? What was your count?
My count was 8.
Your count was 8. Okay, so it depends a little bit on how we describe it, but I counted 9, meaning that on the 9th bar, that's when this dropped. It was 8 bars up to. On the 9th bar, it was this drop. So it depends on how you prefer to think about it. But as long as we're kind of unfundamentally we're agreeing. Does that sound right to you?
Yes. I think this way on the 8th bar, it changes the music. So.
Well, it does change, but the drop.
The drop was okay.
On the 9th bar, yeah, you could hear the 8th bar was sort of anticipating the drop,
Yeah,
and so it kind of pulled out some of the sounds. But the actual drop was on the 9th bar, and we can just try again. Why do you this time just to practice, click and hold the cue button and count up to 9 bars, and let's see what happens. 1.
Wait a second. Again.
Yeah, no problem.
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9.
Yep, and then release. What'd you think?
Great, yeah, it was on the 9th. On the 9th, I can mix it.
That's exactly right. So let's go for it. So now, before we jump into the mix, I just want to say a word about the beat sync. One of the core concepts of DJing is beat matching. You want to make sure that both tracks are on beat. That's a fundamental thing that has to happen in order for it to sound good. Otherwise, it sounds so bad.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a pro musician to feel the badness. Anybody can hear the songs galloping. They won't be able to dance. They won't be able to sing.
I know the train wreck. I know it good.
The train wreck, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So beat matching, you can do it manually, and old school vinyl DJs would do it manually, and that's a beautiful skill.
Yeah.
We also have this beat sync feature that does it for you automatically, and it's a great tool because it's like training wheels. It kind of helps you get started and understand some of the core concepts, and then you can start learning how to beat match manually. But for now, let's use the beat sync, and the beat sync buttons right here. There are two buttons. One says sync, and the other says master. When you click the master button, what you're telling the system is this deck is now the master deck in the beat sync chain. And any other deck that you synchronize will synchronize to this deck. This becomes the master beat, if you will. So go ahead and click the sync button on that one.
It's on?
And just to sort of demonstrate the concept of the master sync behavior, this is the pitch fader. This is what determines the beats per minute. Go ahead and grab the pitch fader and just move it up and down. And notice what happens while you're doing that. Notice what happens on deck 2.
Oh, it's automatic.
Yeah.
So it's the same BPM on both.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you let snap it, and then now just for the demonstration, go ahead and grab that pitch fader and try to move it up and down. Notice what happens. Nothing happens.
Oh, I can't grab it.
It's locked.
It's locked. Yeah.
Yeah, because the synchronize is on. If you turn synchronize off, then it would release it. Okay, cool. So now we have this beat sync enabled. So now we know it's 9. It's on the 9th bar. It's going to drop. So let's give it a go. Go ahead and click play on here and immediately start counting. And then when you're ready, click play on that deck.
2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9.
Boom!
Yeah!
Yeah, well done! This is where you grab the table.
Let's jump!
Jump, 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 jump!
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
But without the sync, it's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah. Without the sync, it's hard. But it's good to use sync to understand some of the other concepts, and then when you're ready, you can focus on the beat matching.
I have questions about the sync. When I use my controllers, are there any delays? So when I click play,
it's pretty instant. I mean, there's going to be some based on the electronics, but one thing I want to point out is that this broke down now, and that one's about to drop. So the energetic shift is quite good. This one kind of the energy dropped out, but look at this, it's about to drop. So now this one owns all the hype. The dance floor is dancing to this one. And we can slowly fade out.
So I can fade out this track?
Yeah, maybe throw on an effect here just for fun. Grab the filter effect. And then, yeah. You got it, exactly. So we can practice this concept again by loading up another track on here and doing another mix. So go ahead and push pause on here.
I'm not used to use both hands. I can use both hands. That's great.
Yeah, you can use both hands. Yeah. Go ahead and push the pause here.
Yeah.
Notice the beat sync. That one's now the master. You see how it's orange over there?
Yes.
So now you can replace it with a new track. Go ahead and open the track list. And find a track that says rhythm bass, maybe down at the bottom, rhythm bass.
Rhythm bass, yes.
Yeah,
Put
load
it
up
on
on
rack
deck.
1. Soon.
Yep, cool.
Yes.
So we're gonna do a similar thing here. Let me just do this. We're gonna do a similar thing. This time we're gonna just try and feel it. You can see how it's building up to this drop.
Yes.
It'll be hard to catch, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But what we can try and do is anticipate. Just feel the 4 beats. Try and find the 1 beat. Try and find that drop. And the minute it drops, we're gonna push play on this deck.
Okay.
And, yeah, let's reset the color. Cool. Bring up the volume a little bit. Cool. So when you're ready.
Ah, too.
A little too soon. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. Yeah. Boom. Boom.
It's such a great software.
This one's going to kick in too. So why don't we do the color fader? Do the
color
filter effect
fader.
on this one again. Yes. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Or quickly go. Here it comes. Perfect. Boom.
Oh, this was too harsh, I think.
Well, a little too harsh, but you know. Yeah, you want maybe lead a little bit, so it's like.
So it's in the background.
So it's in the background. So
I can play with the frequencies.
Yeah, you can play with the frequencies. You can take out the bass, maybe.
Oh, this was not.
And then this is good right here. Check it out. Check it out. Boom! Right on the break. That one ended right when this one went into a breakdown, which is very cool. Even though it's not like a hype drop, it's just cool for the crowd.
It's cool.
Like,
you
wow.
can hear it that it's changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
And the audience is gonna be like loving it. But it's about to build up again, so we can.
My greatest fear is that the track runs out and I'm not finished on this.
Right.
That's my greatest fear. Yeah.
Let the dance party continue. Very cool. So yeah, so go ahead and push pause.
Pause, yes.
Yeah. So that is sort of, you know, an introduction into mixing and transitions. And just to recap, we talked about the roles of the decks. We talked about, you know, how to use this cue button. We talked about the beat sync button. We talked about the tracks and a little bit of music theory and how to transition between the two. And then we used, you know, some of the EQs and even the color effects to do mixes. And I have to say, it went really well. Like, you did a great job in
Thank you.
dropping the tracks right on time. It was a really fun set of mixes. Do you have any questions?
I had a great teacher, so yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
I have many questions, but I don't want to take your time. So yeah.
No, it's okay.
I signed up for the DJ bootcamp.
Oh, sweet. So that starts on Monday.
It starts on Monday. Great.
Yeah. We'll start that on Monday because, you know, it's perfect timing.
It's live or it's text or video. How is
it's a combination of things. So it'll be on Discord, and you'll have dedicated channels where you'll receive daily missions.
Great.
And they are DJ missions. And some of this you'll be familiar with already, of like how to load your own tracks and how to put together a playlist and things like that. And then it's going to get progressively more advanced, like how to use virtual headphones, how to cue your tracks, how to do energetic mixes, things like that. And you'll get daily missions, and the idea is that each day you'll dedicate half an hour to an hour to doing the mission. Well, it's not too heavy duty, it's pretty lightweight. And then submit a screenshot or a recording of the thing that you did, and then your mentor can give you personalized feedback each day. So we have a resident mentor, his name is John Connor, and then also myself that are helping to run the bootcamp, and we'll give you feedback. And if there are other students in the bootcamp next week, they'll also be able to review your stuff and give you feedback.
Great.
It'll be a little party. Yeah. So that's the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
cool.
Full of energy now.
Yay! Cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, do you have any other questions before I jump off, I suppose?
No, not right now. But in these 2 weeks, I have
Yeah.
many questions, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
We're gonna
But
get
yeah,
you.
it's
We're gonna get you DJing in no time. It's gonna be
yeah,
wonderful.
it's such a
And I'll
great
be around.
software and great service. Great service for free. It's great. Yeah, it's so
Totally.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. So it's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to see your progress, and I can't wait to see you DJing and live streaming and bringing the energy. It's going to be great. But I'll be online. I'll be on Discord. Just ping me if you have any questions in the meantime.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Goodbye.
Alrighty. I'll talk to you later. Bye. High five.